Thanks to those joining me live and to those that'll be joining me on archive. D-Style Boxing here. I wanted to come on and give you my thoughts on yesterday's main events on ESPN. Jamal Herring was defending his, I believe it was a WBO junior lightweight title against Shakur Stevenson, former 126-pound champ, trying to become champion in his second weight class. And that he did. And not only did he do that, he did it in pretty spectacular fashion, right? Round one, Puerto Rican Rum, JC, Chicano Prophet. How's it going, guys? Remember to join the membership. By joining the membership, you're able to use emojis as I'll post one in the chat right now, such as HCP is War, the HCP logos. Are you down with HCP? You know me. And anyway, moving on, more to come, of course. You also have access to posts available only to members, where I can ask you what type of topics you want to see on the roundtable or HCP podcasts and things of that nature. You could do video requests, and when I have guests, you can have the ahead of time to let us know what type of questions you want to ask. With that said, guys, it's only 99 cents a month. Check this out. Okay. Check this out. Shakur Stevenson. He's going to win the fight, I said. He did. He's going to win in convincing fashion, I said. He did. That was my prediction, right? I'll be honest, I did not believe he would stop Herring. I have to be honest about that. I thought the fight would go the distance. And I felt it would be a clear and precise win, 8-4, 9-3 type decision. And I could say I was kind of slightly off about that, although I think it was 3 close rounds, 2 or maybe just 1 that I gave to Herring. Rounds 5, 7, and 8 were close. I did give Herring round 8. 5 and 7, after rewatching, I kind of feel like Shakur did win those rounds. But nonetheless, I don't think Herring was going to win any round after the 8th anyway. He was taking a pounding in the 9th, and then they eventually stopped at the following round, and he wasn't going to do anything for the rest of the fight. So it didn't quite go as I thought I would, even though I got the prediction right. I did get the winner right. But he was more impressive than I thought he would be, right? No, well, why didn't I pull the trigger? D-Style, why don't you just go with it, D-Style? 100%. Well, what I believe I did. I believe I did go 100%. I just couldn't pull. I just felt like, here's what I saw. First of all, high and low sportatorium. I appreciate the support, brother. Boxing is spoken with style. I do agree with that. HLD, how's it going, man? Everybody follow HLD on Twitter. I saw him on Twitter, You sure do. Stephen, how's it going, brother? Hit my like, brothers. And stay with me as I go over this fight, Going into the fight, I used my eye test. And my eyes told me, right? Eyes in my brain told me Shakur is going to beat Jamal Herring. My eyes told me he's faster than Jamal Herring. My eyes told me, okay, both from the southpaw stance, first of all, so no one's going to have like a positional advantage. The question always is, when 2 southpaws fight each other, who's going to have the advantage with that hook, right? That's kind of my breakdown a lot, even with Spence Pacquiao. I talked about it's going to come down to the hook, right? But with Shakur Stevenson, I felt he has a better hook. I felt he's the better counterpuncher of the two, and usually, look it up if you don't believe me, when 2 counterpunchers fight each other, right? If one counterpuncher is just slightly better, just slightly faster, they're one-sided fights, right? And the reason for that, because they're going to be that slightly better, slightly faster for the entirety of a 12-round course. Ladies and gentlemen, I underestimated how much better Shakur Stevenson's hook is than Jamal Herring's. I underestimated how much better Shakur Stevenson's reflexes are than Herring. I figured they were faster. I didn't know they would be that much faster. I vastly underestimated how much faster in every facet of the game, hand speed, foot speed, upper body movement, head movement. I underestimated how much faster Shakur Stevenson was than Jamal Herring. The speed difference was startling. It was like, oh shit. Jamal Herring is not a slow guy. I just want to make sure everybody understands this. Okay? Jamal Herring isn't exactly Alfredo Angulo or Joe Joyce out there, guys. He's a pretty fast guy. Definitely above average for sure in speed. Yet Shakur Stevenson was amazingly faster. And I agree with Chicano. He made him look slow. He made him look ordinary. He made him look that way. That was the difference. All those things. I talked to Joe Habib. Shout out to him. And he told me this is one of the most complete performances he has seen in the last 10 years. Now, I haven't stopped and thought about fights in the last 10 years, but I get what he means. And he explained this to me. He said, look, the way he was outboxing him on the inside, the way he was outboxing him from mid-range, the way he was outboxing him from the outside, how he was beating him defensively, offensively, how he was hurting him with the hook, and how he eventually led to the stoppage, got a stoppage victory. It was most definitely a complete performance. Shout out to Maxilla. Shout out to Sontel Media. Just in trouble. How are you doing? I do got to give, before I continue, I want to give Jamal Herring some credit. I believe he was trying to counterpunch early. It wasn't working out for him. The speed difference, the skill difference, the reflexes. It was startling how far apart they were. Okay. Miles apart. Kilometers apart for everyone else using the metric system around the world. It was startling. And I want to make sure people understand, I had Shakur winning this fight. I thought he would win a comfortable 8-4, 9-3 type decision. Even I was way off. Admittedly, I wanted to see it happen. I didn't just want to rely on the eye test. I wanted to see him actually do it in the ring. Because sometimes this could be off, right? Because there is a halo effect. So I wanted to make sure that, okay, I want to make sure this guy's a real deal. Now, I already kind of, look, after Hoet beat Mariaga and after Hoet, gave Navarrete all he could handle, right? I kind of figured, okay, this kid is definitely the real deal. I mean, he did kind of make Hoet look ordinary as well, So he fought a far more conservative fight against Hoet than he did against Jamal Herring, by the way, but still, he still won, I only gave Hoyt one. I don't even remember if I gave him 2 rounds in that fight, but nonetheless, right? So I got to give Jamal Herring an A for effort, right? I think he came back in the fifth, and I still gave Shakur that round, but you know what? He came back, he showed effort, he tried to rough him up a little bit. He was digging to the body. I think he had a really good sneaky jab to the body that he was landing occasionally, right? Just it just wasn't enough, right? And I think the effort was there, and he was getting pepper with combinations. They would keep coming, right? So the effort was there. He never stopped. But that pressure that he needed to play, that's just not his style. That's not Jamal Herring, right? And once he realized, okay, he's beating me at my own game, so I'm going to have to make this a dogfight, that's just not his style of fighting. If by dogfight they mean going in there on the inside, digging to the body, you know what I mean, making it ugly, that's just not his style of fighting. You're asking him to do something he's not as good at, like he's used to doing. But you have to revert to that because he's beating you at your own game, right? So I get it. So I can admire that, right? But he definitely was overwhelmed. And it's easy for us to watch on TV and say, "Ah, man, he should have done this, or he should have pressed more, or he should have taken." Like, one, that's just not what he does. And second, it's easy to say that when you're not the one getting countered in the face, right? When every time you step forward, bomb, your head's getting smashed in with jabs and crosses and hooks. For those that don't know, both fighters were southpaw, as I'm sure you realized. Okay, right foot stepping forward. The thing about Shakur, and I learned this weekend, he is right hand dominant. Okay. Now, traditionally, everyone likes to say the right hand is the weapon used against the southpaw. Now, of course, that's because it's a straight right. Okay. But in this case, obviously, he can't use a straight right when he's in a southpaw position, right? He can't do that. But he can use it as a hook. So I want you to think about this. Jamal Herring, being a southpaw, has fought mostly, and this is true about all southpaws, they mostly fought, okay, orthodox fighters. And of all these orthodox fighters, they're used to the threat of the right hand, the power hand, okay, being a straight right coming their way. That's what they're accustomed to, right? And they're also accustomed to like a hook that comes from the direction of their back, you know, that they could either easily block with their shoulder or kind of look away, or allow it to just hit them in the back or something. It's a very awkward angle to score points at, to do any serious damage, right? The hook has to be set up differently, okay, for an orthodox fighter. But now Jamal Herring had to fight someone who's right hand dominant and that can use a hook coming at him, very similar to how two orthodox fighters deal with the hook, right? So he's in a southpaw position. He's shooting the hook, and that's his power hand. That is his dominant hand that is using a jab to out jab Herring and to land the hook on Herring, right? So Herring still had to deal with a right hand, only this time it was going to be a hook coming at an angle that he's just not really used to seeing hooks coming at from, right? And it happens to be the dominant hand of Shakur Stevenson. I think that's one of the reasons Shakur had a probably easier time than I thought he would, to be honest. And I thought it was going to be pretty easy. It was just easier than I thought it was going to be. Being honest, I thought there would be at least 4 rounds where like Herring's going to win, and I thought some other rounds would be competitive at least. This was a very, very one-sided fight for the most part. And we could Monday morning quarterback it. We can talk about why he could have done this. He could have done that. We could talk about all those things. Okay? We really can. But at the end of the day, got the job done. At the end of the day, got to stop his victory. At the end of the day, he was peppering and embarrassing Herring all day. Now I see some people in the chat saying why he's pillow fisted. I see you, JC. I see you. Well, people got to do something about it, right? Like that's the thing. A lot of guys have been called pillow fisted and they still win fights, right? First of all, let's not kid ourselves. All punches hurt. All punches do damage. Okay. I don't care who you are. He doesn't need to have, and we all know that he's not Tank Davis in there or Teofimo Lopez. You know, he doesn't have that type of power. We all know that, right? But his style doesn't really require that anyway. Okay. He doesn't really require that at the end of the day. G Money 915, how's it going, brother? How you doing? The GOAT, how's it going, brother? Now, look, we do, of course, got to put it in perspective. Okay. Herring was a 10-1 underdog. The odds makers kind of figured it would be one-sided. They were pretty confident about it. That the odds really didn't really move in this fight. They weren't really sweating like an upset, you know. And I think most people that picked against Shakur, it was based on, well, I don't know. I'm not going to believe it until I see it. That was pretty much their logic. And I think that should be everyone's logic. But sometimes you have to use a judgment call. You have to make a judgment, right? Like I used a judgment and I said, I'm going to pick on a win because I don't think my eyes are lying to me, right? I think the kid is skilled enough and fast enough to deal with Jamal Herring, right? And I felt he would win a comfortable lead. He won a little better than I thought, right? But Jamal Herring was a 10-1 underdog. Jamal Herring has never been considered this dude that you could put on top 10 pound for pound list, or find me one list of anybody, right? Anyone, please. Whoever could send me a video, okay, of any YouTuber that wants to tell me that Shakur is the next big thing now, right? Which he might be the next big thing, right? He might. I get it. I would favor Shakur against a lot of guys based off eye test and based off what I've seen. Go to win over Jamal Herring. Go to win over Joel Gonzalez, right? But are Joel Gonzalez and Jamal Herring, are they like those guys? Or are they the guys that are going to lose to the guys? You know? Like, who are they really? Because Joel, sure, he beat Mariaga, good win, but he lost to one of the guys in Navarrete. You know, you could argue, oh, but Shakur beat him better. That's not the point. The point is, are those like those dudes like that? This is my only challenge, right? For everybody saying, oh, Shakur, put him top 5 pound for pound. Okay, cool. Please, anyone who finds me a video uploader at any point in history, I mean at any point, I don't care if it was 5 years ago, that's Jamal Herring on a top 10 pound for pound, email me their video, the first one to do it, and I'll send you $5 cash app. Okay? Just like that. I'll pay you to show me. I'll pay you to show me someone who had Jamal Herring like up here. Like, man, this dude, Jamal Herring, he's a top 10 pound for pound guy. I want you to find me one dude, right? So the only reason I'm saying that is let's calm down, right? Let's give him credit for the win. It was a really, really impressive win. Okay? Let's give him credit for the win. It was a very, very impressive win. But let's also not act like we had Jamal like up here. Like, you know what I mean? Jamal Herring was a 10-1 underdog. Oh, but some YouTubers picked him. So what? The YouTubers, look, man, there's always going to be a percentage of YouTubers that pick the underdog. That's just the way it goes. That's the way of the world, okay? But just name me somebody that had him like up here. Like you know what I mean? Like who, like, when did anyone have him like acá arriba, like over here? Like when? Let's be honest. Before the Herring fight and Shakur was even a thought, when Shakur was still like a prospect on the come up, or like after he fought Joel or something, and Jamal was doing like his thing, right? What did most people say about Jamal Herring? Let's just be honest, okay? that he's a solid, a good, solid fighter. And he is, right? He's solid. He's good. He's a Marine. He's tough. He's going to come in shape. He's going to come in and give it his all, right? That's what I said. That's what I would say. Hey, Jamal Herring's that guy. You got to come in shape. You got to come prepared, or he could pull off the upset against you. That's what I said, But what happened? He knocked out Frampton, okay? And a lot of you just all of a sudden, look, Jamal Herring hasn't shown he's a puncher any more than Shakur has. But he knocked out little Frampton, and people just fell in love. Oh, D-Style, but he knocked out Carl Frampton, bro. He knocked out Carl Frampton. Okay, well, Carl Frampton at 130, bro. Carl Frampton started at 122. He was no longer on top anymore like that. Just think about that for a second. I'm just saying. When did people act who do you guys know that was totally Jamal Herring is a top 10 pound for pound guy, right? And I'm not saying he has to. Okay, I'm not saying he has to be, but stop, please. Let's let it go. Okay? Let's not over exaggerate what we saw, right? Let's just not that. That's all I ask. Let's not over exaggerate now. Okay? No es pa tanto. Hold on now. You know what I mean? He beat Jamal Herring, good, solid fighter, tough fighter, right? Beat him better than I thought he would, okay? Beat him in better fashion than I thought he would, but calm down. Hold on. Whoa. Now, let me make this 100% clear. And I'll speak for all of HCP. I want to see Shakur Stevenson against Oscar Valdez. I want to see the fight. I don't have a problem with the fight. If you want me to say, should the fight be next? I'll say, sure, why not? I don't have a problem with the fight whatsoever. I say, let's do the fight and may the better man win. And I'll take it a step further. As of right now, right? Now, granted, I haven't sat down and analyzed it or something, but as of right now, I would favor Shakur Stevenson to beat Oscar Valdez. As of right now. Okay? So I'm just letting you know right now, no issue. No issue with that fight. Let's do that fight. We don't protect O's over here. We don't advocate for not making the fights. Okay, none of that. At all. So I'm all for the fight. Let's do it. Okay? I say let's do the fight. JC's saying I think Gonzalo Shakur happens first. I'm going to tell you right now, I think Gonzalo is a tough fight for anybody, including Shakur. Okay? Because Gonzalo has a very negative style, and as much as I don't like it, it's effective. Okay? It works well for the 10-point must system. It scores points. Okay? It puts points on the board, and it wins 10-9 rounds a lot. Okay? So Gonzalo is a dangerous fighter for anybody, including Shakur Stevenson. All right? JC saying I'd rather see Vaquero against Shakur. Well, look, Vaquero's at 126. So if Vaquero's going to move up, we'll talk. But as of right now, the fight to make is Shakur Stevenson against Oscar Valdez. It's a unification fight. They're both with top rank. They're in the same division. Why not? I have no problem with that fight. Let's do the fight. That is my official stance. That's my stance. Okay? My stance is that the fight should happen, that the fight should happen soon, okay, that the fight should happen sooner than later. All right? That is my official stance when it comes to this fight. Point blank, period. Now, I do believe that Valdez brings something unique to the table that Hoet didn't bring, and that Jamal Herring didn't bring. Okay. One, I do believe Oscar Valdez hits harder than both those guys. That's number one. And I do believe that he'll be a little more willing to exchange with Shakur and punch with Shakur than those other two guys would, right? Now, in saying that doesn't necessarily mean he'll give him a tougher fight. It could mean that, but it means that it'll be something different, right? It'll be a different circumstance that Shakur could either overcome and pass with flying colors, right? Or that could provide a challenge for him that he hasn't seen yet, right? And cause him problems. Simple as that, right? So I'm not here to deflect. I'm not here to say, no, well, let's do the Conceição fight or let's do Vaquero. No. Like everybody knows that the fight to make at 130 is Oscar Valdez versus Shakur Stevenson. Everybody knows that, right? If Vaquero moves up and wants a piece of somebody, okay, cool. I don't have a problem with it, right? If Vaquero fights Stevenson or Valdez, I don't have a problem with it. I'm just letting you guys know what I think, my opinion. Like I think I want to see Oscar Valdez against Shakur Stevenson. I want to see that fight. I want to see how Shakur's going to react when someone's punching with him. Look, he might do some damage and or whatever, and maybe gets the best of Valdez because of it, or maybe Valdez gives him a lot of fits. As simple as that. We just don't know. We simply don't know. Some other things I want to talk about. It's interesting. It's interesting what Maxilla is saying. He says Valdez is going to come roided and beat the fuck out of Shakur. Now, I want to go back a little bit. A fighter that a lot of people, even myself, love, right? Many channels out here, some have interviewed him, right? La Bandera Roja. David Benavidez. Everybody loves David Benavidez. David Benavidez, including myself, by the way, exciting to watch. The future. He's in his mid-20s. Like he's got a future ahead of him. He just does. And if Canelo wants to fight him, he should do it sooner than later because La Bandera Roja is only going to get better. I'm just telling you that right now. We all love, right? Who doesn't love La Bandera Roja? I mean, I've seen him on LDBC shows like with Fred, and they love him, right? We love him in HCP. Everybody loves David Benavidez, okay? But David Benavidez, before his fight with Angulo, missed weight. Does everybody remember that? Do you remember when that happened? Hey guys, do you remember when he missed weight? Do you remember? Like, raise your hand if you remember. Raise your hand. Give me a boxing glove emoji in the chat right now if you remember when he missed weight. He did not make weight for the Angulo fight. So give me a boxing glove emoji or an HCP as war emoji if you're a member right now. If you remember when David Benavidez failed to make weight. Batista, where are you going with this? Well, I'm going with somewhere with it for sure. Who remembers, right, when Tank Davis missed weight? Love Tank Davis, right? Now, I don't remember if he made weight on the second attempt or not. I think it only happened once, but who remembers when Adrian Broner missed weight? Does anybody remember? Everybody remember that? Who remember? Raise your hand. Give me a boxing glove emoji. Come on, guys. Post those boxing glove emojis or the HCP is war emoji. Come on. If you remember when Jojo Diaz missed weight, everybody remember that? Raise your hand if you remember when they missed weight. Give me that boxing glove emoji. If you remember when Jojo Diaz missed weight, even the Tank fans remember because they were like, oh, they called out Tank, but they won't say shit about Jojo. I said shit about both, right? Jojo, pero es yo-yo. Who remembers? Give me more names of guys that missed weight, that failed to make weight on the scale and ended up fighting their opponent anyway. What do you guys remember? Give me names, just any name, of a fighter. Refresh my memory. Name me some fighters that missed weight, right? Didn't come in weight for whatever reason. Some might have blamed it on, some I might have blamed it on the pandemic, right? Some might have blamed it on, other things. I get it, okay? So I don't know what's going on to Sontea. How you doing, brother? Name me some names. I just want to know guys that missed weight, please. I want to know guys that missed weight. So I said Broner. I said Tank Davis. Okay, David Benavidez, Jojo Diaz, right? So here's my point. So let me know if you're there, by the way, because only 2 people put a fucking emoji, right? So let me know if you're there, right? Let me know, yo, I'm here or something. You know what I mean? Hit my like button, all right? Okay, don't be greedy now, okay? Don't be greedy. Hit the thumbs down if you're hate watching something. You know what I mean? Hit some. You know what I mean? But check this out, okay? All those guys that miss weight, I have stayed consistent over the years. I have said that is unprofessional. I have said it is a form of cheating pretty much because your opponent, okay, had to miss weight while, you didn't, right? They had to dehydrate themselves a little extra when you did it, right? All those things. But for some reason, boxing fans are very forgiving. They're very forgiving when guys miss weight, right? It really is unfair to the opponent that made the weight for you not to make the weight. Because they had to put in the work to make the weight while you didn't. For whatever reason. It doesn't matter the reason, right? And I've always been straight. Oh, but DStyleBoxing missed weight. So what? After he beat Angulo? But I would have beat him anyway. I mean, just let him get his title back, right? What did I say? No. He was irresponsible. He missed weight. Okay. David Benavidez was in the front of the line. Now David Benavidez goes to the back of the line. Why? Because he missed weight. Okay, that's why. I take that very serious in every occasion. I don't just look over it. Okay? Now, guys that miss weight aren't labeled cheaters for the rest of their fucking career, though. Like, oh, he's a cheater. He missed weight. Like, you know what I mean? Like, nobody does that. But why do I say that? Why am I bringing this up? What's my point? Stephen says missing weight is unprofessional and not a sign of a good work ethic. Well said. Remember when Chavez, Chavez never missed weight? I think he did, and they had to change the weight class just for him. That's a form of cheating. Duval Grant said, well, shoot, we had a guy who in the UFC didn't even try to cut weight, and they moved the weight division up. Some guys just pay the penalty. I'll pay the penalty. I don't got to do the weight cut. And I'll be the big dude on fight night. Oh, yeah. Like, you know what I mean? That's a way of, it's a form of cheating. That's why they're fined. That's why they're stripped of their titles. Because they're not fighting in the weight class. Remy, salute. Salute, brother. That was this past weekend, Paulo Acosta. Well, there you go. That's bullshit to me. And then you have fighters that have done it more than once. More than once, ladies and gentlemen. More than once. So what's my point? So you're telling me the following. Oscar Valdez took a stimulant to help him cut weight so he could make weight. Now, he got caught taking the stimulant. Now, we have no proof that the stimulant actually helped him make weight, but that's irrelevant. He shouldn't have taken it, right? But what you're telling me is, let's hypothetically say, and let's just agree for the sake of argument, that the stimulant helped him make weight. Oh, cheater. His opponent had to make weight the right way, and he used this to make weight. That's bullshit, right? Okay, I agree with you. So you're telling me right now that all he should have done was not make the weight. Like, don't take the stimulant. Don't make weight because of that. And you don't make weight on the scale. Sure, you lose your title. You get some people, criticizing you, just like they criticize David Benavidez, right? You have the same fucking fight against Consecao, right? But you're not going to be labeled a cheater for the rest of your career. Pretty much. Just miss weight. Now, I'm not advocating for either. I think guys should be fighting at their weight class. And if they can't make the weight, they should be fighting on the weight class above them. That's my thought, okay? So at the end of the day, let's try to stay consistent out here, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? If the problem you had, because let's be honest, let's talk about, okay, didn't Floyd miss weight versus Mark? He did. Right? He did. But like Valdez took a stimulant that helps him make weight. We're mad at him because he shouldn't have taken the stimulant, okay? And he shouldn't have taken something to help him make the weight. And I agree 100%. But we should have the same energy for guys that don't even bother making the weight. We should have the same energy because in the end, they're accomplishing the same thing. They're still going to fight their opponent on fight night, even though they did not have to legitimately make weight for the fight. It's the same thing. But energy just doesn't stay the same. And I just wanted to go ahead and provide that perspective from my perspective, right? Give you my thoughts when it comes to that. With that said, I want to talk about Xander Zayas. Xander Zayas, who's been on ATP twice, by the way, and I hope to bring him back on the show. Great kid. Only 19 years old. Has fought 5 times this year. Young Puerto Rican prospect fighting out of Florida. This kid has got it all. I mean, he is a phenom. And in his last fight, I mean, I don't know for sure, but I felt like he was carrying the guy, and he got a lot of criticism, but I feel like he wants to get rounds in. In this fight, the body work was surgical, right? I mean, that's the best word I have for it. He was surgical, going to the body, attacking his opponent's ribs, and the solar plexus. What was it, 4 or 5 rounds? I forget how many rounds it was. I mean, he just dispatched of him. He's only 19 years old, and he has the body work of a seasoned veteran. This kid's going to be a problem. And in my opinion, I could say this right now, he's a future world champion. Xander Zayas is a problem. He's a future world champion. I like his jab, by the way. He has solid power, pretty good speed, educated jab, brilliant body work, and he's only growing at this point. This kid has yet to get his man strength. I just want to make sure people understand this. He's 19 years old. He's only going to get stronger. Once he's strong like an ox, when he gets that man strength, he's going to have some devastating power on him. Devastating. Okay. Xander Zayas, well, he'll probably compete all the way up to middleweight and super middleweight. I think he's going to do his thing. You know what I mean? But he's got everything. He's got every tool that a fighter needs. All right? Every single tool. Brilliant fighter. Like he's only 19, so I don't even want to try to nitpick anything, like, because he's ahead of where he needs to be. You know what I mean? But that's what I'll say. At the end of the day. All right? He didn't come out for this. That's right. He didn't come out for the sixth. So it was the fifth. Didn't come out for the sixth. So it was the fifth round. Pretty much retired on the stool. There we go. TKO. So I am looking forward to this kid's future, man. He's first of all, I interviewed him last year and this year. He is so mature, and I mean, he's just ahead of his time, man. He's got a good head up here, okay, and he's got a good head on his shoulders. He's got a future, right? And if you follow him on Instagram, man, he's grinding, he's working, he's active, he's staying sharp, right? Kid's got a future, man. Like if you're a fan of Puerto Rican boxing, this kid's a future. He's something. I have more faith in Xander than Berlanga. However, let me say this. I still believe in Edgar Berlanga, though. Okay, and people are jumping off the Edgar Berlanga train, right? Dude, like I mean, I don't know what it is about boxing fans nowadays. The guy has one or two tough fights, and you just jump off the bandwagon. Like, this is not going to be a popular opinion. It's not. But Berlanga, in the long run, these last two fights that were tough, right? That you know, some people were like, oh, where he lost rounds and went the distance. Those two fights are going to do more good for him than he would have knocked out two dudes in the first round. Knocking dudes out in the first round wasn't doing shit for Berlanga. Nothing. Right? Now he has something to go work on. Like, yo, man, when we were in this fight, this is a problem this guy gave you. We're going to spar on that. We're going to work on that. And that's going to give him a chance to improve. That's how you improve. That's how you get better. You're supposed to get tested when you're coming up, right? Knocking dudes out in the first round wasn't doing shit for him. It wasn't doing anything for him. You know what? These last two fights are the best thing that could have happened to Berlanga. No! It would have been better if he just knocked dudes out in the first round. I disagree. I don't agree at all. I don't agree at all. I think you need to be tested like that. He got brought down to earth a little bit. Like, yo, whoa. Like, look, Berlanga, like, I get it. Like, he was annoying. He was being a little annoying. I get it. He was, like, you know, like he was making fun of Callum Smith, saying Callum Smith wouldn't have lasted 4 rounds with him or whatever he said, right? He was talking shit about Billy Joe Saunders after his fight with Canelo, like, and it was like, bro, you're talking about up here, like, you're still here, brother. Like, what are you doing? So, you know, they brought him back down. Get over here. There you go. And now you got to work your way up. Like, the focus, Berlanga should never even been focused on Canelo. got people talking about him fighting Canelo. I'm like, what? Yo, the focus, you got to have tunnel vision. You got to focus on your next opponent and keep moving from there. These last 2 fights were the best thing, okay? Were the best thing that could have happened to Edgar Berlanga. So if you're an Edgar Berlanga fan, I'm going to tell you right now, don't allow, okay? Do not allow, people jumping off the bandwagon saying it's over, you got exposed, and don't allow people like that to discourage you from still believing in Edgar Berlanga. Edgar Berlanga is still capable. Edgar Berlanga can still have a future. These type of things are the best thing that can happen. Okay? I want to remind you, Juan Manuel Marquez lost his first professional boxing fight. Bernard Hopkins lost his first professional boxing fight. Hagler lost early in his career. Okay, when he was a prospect. Okay, Salvador Sanchez lost early in his career when he was a prospect. As long as a tough outing or a loss doesn't discourage you, all right, and you go back into that lion's den to improve and get better, there's no reason to believe that that fighter is done. So for people that were hyping up and pumping up Berlanga, okay, and believing in him when he was knocking dudes out in the first round, right, that are now jumping off the bandwagon because he had 2 tough fights, I mean, you're just not real supporters. I'm sorry, all right? It's one thing to say, man, I don't know, man, I think this and that. Let me tell you this, okay? Those last 2 fights, including this last one, were a better experience for Berlanga in the long run than he would have just knocked out some other dude in the first round. He's going to learn from them. He's going to get better. And if Berlanga's another Wilder, then I guess he's going to win the title and have 10 title defenses then. If he's another Wilder. Right? And it's going to take the very best in the division to beat him after he knocks him down 4 times. Right? So that's all I'm going to say. Edgar Berlanga. I'm not here to tell you guys, look, I don't have a fortune ball. I don't. Okay? I'm not here to tell you that you need to believe in Edgar Berlanga. That's not what I'm saying. You have a right to say, you know what, I don't know. Right? That's cool. What I am telling you is that these tough fights on the come up, right, are good learning experiences that these young fighters need. I get it. Berlanga, he's 24. Like, Berlanga is still a prospect. He's like, you know what I mean? That's what he is. Is the hourglass moving a little faster for him than like a 19-year-old like Xander? Yes. Okay. But nonetheless, I think he needed this. I do. I think Berlanga needed a wake-up call. And I think he got it. And now what he does with it is up to him. But this is going to help him more. If he just kept knocking dudes out in the first round, like if they just fed him some other dudes he was going to knock out in the first, and then you put him in there with a Canelo, like what the hell? Like, what, the Canelo's going to knock him out in the first round. He's going to dominate him and destroy him. You know what I mean? What's the point of that? No. You want, like, he got tested. He got pushed to the limit in the last 2 fights, and now he knows where he's at. You're not up here. You're right here. Work your way up. Right? That's all I will say. In my opinion. Okay? That's all I will say. Shout out to Maestro Boxing. How's it going, brother? Okay? And that's it. Now, boxing historians say Berlanga's very limited. Maybe. Like, I get it. A lot of guys have been limited, but if you're good at your limit, like if you know your limit, right? You can still go far in boxing. Right? It's all about execution and the game plan and how you execute it. So, I don't know. I think Berlanga is a little more capable than people are giving him credit for. I think people are shedding him when it's easy to shed on him right now because he just had a tough outing. Right? I didn't see a lot of this when he was knocking dudes out in the first round. I don't know why. I kept saying, yo, this dude needs to be tested. This ain't going to help him. He's not going to get better if he just knocks dudes out in the first round. And you saw it. He didn't get better. And then he ran into a brick wall, and that's that. So don't give up on Edgar Berlanga. Okay? Give him time. Give him another 3-4 fights, and then we'll talk. Okay? I predict that Berlanga will beat similar level opposition handily in the next 3-4 fights. And then he will move on to the next stage of his career. Right? So that is my prediction. Because he's going to learn. I believe he will. He has to. He will learn from the last 2 fights. He will work on what he needs to work on. They have actual film now that they could watch and see where he got, quote unquote, exposed, where limitations are, right? And how to hide the limitations in the ring, right? And how to execute in the ring, have a game plan going into the ring. I think Berlanga is going to be all right. I do. Okay. So with that said, I want to thank everybody that came on and tuned in. I apologize I haven't been on in a while. Make sure you hit the bell button. That way you're notified when DStyleBoxing comes on live. I'm just a couple subscribers away from reaching the next milestone, so make sure you subscribe to the channel. This is DStyleBoxing. Keep it boxing. I'm out. Peace.